Everybody, welcome to the English Matters grammar lesson for each one of us. Today I'm back with a new lesson. Yes, in the last lesson we did talk about letters, and in that we learned about the informal letters. In this lesson I'm going to take you through another form of letter, and that is correct formal letters. Now in this lesson we will focus on formal letters. So formal letters are basically a kind of business letter which we write to some business office, to principal, or to some editor of any newspaper, and it can be any official letters. So all these kinds of letters come under the formal letter. Now when we start with a formal letter, we need to know about few points, that it must be precise, to the point, and we must use short sentences. So it has to be intact, precise and terse. So it has not to be very complicated, and no long sentence. Okay, so remember these points. Now look at the format. How does a formal letter look like? Now what happens here, so when you start on the left side of the paper, you first of all write the address. Whose address? Suppose I am writing a letter, then I will write my address here. So the writer's address. After writing the address, then you leave a line. You leave a line and then put the date. And then again you leave a line, and then you write the designation of the business or the person you're writing to, the person writing to, his designation, and then followed by the address. After you complete the address, then you leave a line, then put a subject of your letter. Depending on what is the letter all about, you think of a precise subject, and then you write the subject, and then you leave a line, and then start with the salutation. Yes, I will discuss salutation. You put comma, and then you write the, so here you don't have to leave line to start the letter, but rather body. So body can be broken in three parts. First is introduction and purpose of writing your letter, and the second paragraph talks about the problem. Why are you writing? What is a problem related with the letter that you're writing to? And conclusion, that how you end the letter. So here when you're writing a letter, you conclude a letter in a it should not be completing abruptly. So you cannot just finish the letter abrupt. No, it has to be a kind of sequence. There should be coherence from beginning till the end. Then you leave a line, and then you write subscription, where you end the letter with subscription followed by comma, and again leave a line, put the signature. So if I write a letter, then I will put my signature followed by the name and designation. Okay, this is how you do the letter, the formal letter. Now there is another format which is just more or less same. The only thing is that the writer's address and the date, it shifts to the right, and rest, designation, address, subject, salutation and body remains on the left. You can go for either. You can either choose the first one or the second one. So basically I would suggest you go for the first one, because it is so simple. Everything lies on the left side of the paper. Alright, so there we talked about when I was giving you the format, we talked about the salutation and subscription part. So when it says salutation, how you start the letter, how do you address? So basically we address either with dear sir or dear madam with comma. And when it comes to subscription, it is advisable to use yours faithfully followed by comma. And the signature side, when you end a letter, the signature, you have to have your signature when you write or the person who writes the letter, the signature followed by the name, full name. So signature, just underneath you will have your full name, then the designation. So let's just practice one letter I have here prepared for you. The topic is, write a letter to the editor of a newspaper suggesting to the public the desirability of a social service league in your town. So you're writing this letter to some editor of a newspaper. See, so definitely I told you the format was starting with the address, followed by the date, designation, address, subject, salutation, subscription, and that's how here it ends with signature followed by your name. So let's follow this format one by one. So you've got the address written here, and after the address I have left a line, then the date, then again you leave a line, then you write the designation. Yes, so here I told you about the designation. This is format. So designation, since I'm writing this letter to the editor, so I've written the editor followed by the address of the newspaper agency or the editor where I'm writing this letter to, the address of that particular place, okay, and then the subject. So you have to be very precise looking at the topic of the subject. So the subject is something related to desirability of a social service league. After this I have left a line, then you start with the salutation, dear sir, comma. Our town wants waking up and as a continuous visit to the local authorities with an eye to put forward the need to set up a social league in the town has always been ignored. So this is something you always desired to have a social service league, which was you took up the case, but it was ignored by the local authorities. Now the problem, you're going to introduce the problem in the second stanza. Okay, so when everyone must get the equal opportunity to grow in harmony and brotherhood, but in the current situation it seems to be a setback of the rural government. With the growing biasness and selfish act of the residents, a cloud of disappointment and discord have sunken in. If it is not addressed immediately by a wise mean, it will lead all to cause uproar and end up in a mass protest. This is a problem. Now, why are you writing this letter to the editor? You're trying to bring this problem to the attention of the authorities. So you conclude it. I would like to request the leadership ability of your esteemed newspaper in order to call an immediate attention of the government officials towards this urgent need to establish a social service league in our town so that an atmosphere of solidarity and fairness may prevail among the residents. So that's how this will help the current society you live in. Now after this, the letter ends, you leave a line, then the subscription, yours faithfully, put a comma, don't forget to put a comma, then leave a line, you put a signature here. I couldn't put my signature, but here, let me just write it down. It will be your signature. So since I'm writing this letter, so I have put my signature here, followed by the name and the designation. Suppose I hold a responsibility as a leader, secretary to the society, and then name of the society, Utopian Society. That's how I ended the letter. So this is how you practice and follow the format. If you have any question, you ask me it in the comment section below, and you can practice topics from books available, and do ask me questions. I'll get back to you with a new lesson very soon. Until then, keep learning, keep practicing, take care, have a great day. Bye bye.